he walked into a restaurant. Then froze when he saw his pregnant ex-wife serving food. The bell above the restaurant door barely finished ringing when his entire world stopped. The smell of fried bread and simmering curry faded, the chatter of customers blurred, and time seemed to fold in on itself as his eyes locked onto one familiar figure moving slowly between tables. His heart dropped so hard it felt physical. There she was. His ex-wife. Older, thinner, carrying a visible pregnancy beneath a worn apron, balancing plates with careful hands. The woman he once promised forever to. The woman he left behind. And in that single frozen moment, every choice he had ever made came rushing back to stand before him. Before the story goes any further, take a second. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that no life mistake should define a person forever, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that truly need them. He had not planned to come here. The restaurant was a small, almost forgotten place on a side street he rarely drove through. Life had been busy, successful, loud. He was a man who wore expensive watches now, drove a polished car, and attended meetings where numbers mattered more than names. But that evening, hunger and a wrong turn had led him inside. And now, standing just steps from the door, he felt smaller than he had in years. The success he once chased suddenly felt heavy, almost shameful, as memories rose uninvited. Years ago, they had started with nothing but hope. A tiny apartment, shared dreams, and promises whispered late at night about a better future. But when struggles came, when money was tight and pressure mounted, he had chosen escape over endurance. He told himself he needed space, freedom, time to find himself. In truth, he ran from responsibility. He left her with unpaid bills, unanswered questions, and a silence that hurt more than anger ever could. Not long after, their marriage ended, not with closure, but with distance. Now he saw the cost of that distance. She moved carefully, one hand often resting on her belly, her posture showing exhaustion she tried to hide. The glow she once carried was dimmed, replaced by quiet strength carved from hardship. This was not the life he had imagined for her when he walked away, yet deep down, he knew he had never truly cared to imagine anything at all. He took a seat in the far corner, hoping to disappear. Every clink of a plate made his chest tighten. He wondered how long she had been working here, how many hours she stood on her feet each day, and how many nights she cried alone before learning to survive without him. Questions piled up, each one heavier than the last. The pregnancy was the sharpest. His mind raced with possibilities, none of them easing the ache spreading through his chest. As he watched, he noticed the way customers barely looked at her, how some spoke sharply when orders were late, how she nodded politely even when her back clearly ached. It was then he realized something painful and undeniable. While he had been building comfort, she had been building endurance. While he chased ambition, she carried life. And suddenly, his past choices were no longer abstract regrets but living consequences standing right in front of him. When she finally noticed him, it was brief and quiet. No dramatic reaction. No visible anger. Just a pause. A recognition. And then she continued working. That small act hit him harder than any confrontation could have. Her indifference spoke volumes. It told him she had moved on, not because life had become easy, but because she had no choice. He finished his meal without tasting it. When it came time to pay, he left far more than necessary, not as charity, but as a silent apology he knew could never be enough. Still, something inside him refused to let the moment end there. For the first time in years, he felt the urge not to run, but to stay present with discomfort, to sit with the weight of his mistakes instead of escaping them. Over the following days, he returned. Not to intrude, not to demand forgiveness, but to observe, to understand, and to quietly help where he could. He learned from the owner that she worked double shifts. That the father of the child was no longer in the picture. That she never complained. Each fact stripped another layer from the man he thought he was. Success no longer looked like achievement. It looked like absence. Slowly, his actions began to change. He settled old debts he once ignored. He ensured her medical bills were covered without attaching his name. He used his influence to secure safer housing for her, never presenting himself as a savior, only as someone trying, finally, to do right. He understood that forgiveness was not something he could ask for. It was something he could only earn through consistency and humility. Months passed. Her pregnancy advanced. Her strength remained quiet but unbreakable. And something unexpected happened inside him. The hollow victories of his past began to lose their shine. In their place grew a sense of responsibility that felt heavier, but also more meaningful. He realized that redemption does not come through words or money, but through presence, accountability, and patience. The day the baby was born, he was not there as a hero, nor as a husband. He was simply there as a man who refused to disappear again. Watching from a respectful distance, he felt a strange mix of sorrow and hope. Sorrow for the years lost. Hope for the years still possible. Not together, perhaps, but honest. Just before the ending of this story, we ask you something from the heart. Please comment below with the words, "Second chances matter," if you believe people can grow, change, and make things right, even after deep mistakes. Near the end, she finally acknowledged him, not with words, but with a look that held no bitterness, only understanding. It was not forgiveness. It was something quieter and perhaps more powerful. Acceptance. In that moment, he understood that love does not always mean reunion. Sometimes, it means becoming better so the harm you caused does not define the future. If this story touched your heart, if it made you reflect on choices, forgiveness, or responsibility, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and stay connected with this channel. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive, reminding us all that it is never too late to choose kindness, and never too late to become someone better than who we once were.